Hey guys, this is Austin. This is the GPD Pocket. Now, it's one of the world's smallest laptops with a 7-inch display. It's kind of crazy what you're able to get in such a small form factor. But today it's time for an update. So inside this slightly suspicious looking box is a pre-production version of the brand new Pocket 2. Now on Indiegogo, this just went live and is already way past its goal. So with some much nicer retail packaging, we have the Pocket itself. Now, what made the original Pocket pretty cool was that it is a full Windows laptop in a tiny form factor. And this is actually going to be even smaller, and almost more importantly than that, it's going to be more powerful. So it's actually got a little bit more of a taper now. So I put it side by side with the original. You'll see that one was a little bit on the thicker and chunkier side, but not only is this going to be a little bit thinner, but it even has more ports. So unlike something like the 12-inch MacBook, which has a single USB-C port, this tiny 7-inch laptop has not only a pair of USB-A ports, but also a micro SD, headphone jack, and a full USB-C port. One thing the Pocket definitely has down is build quality. The entire thing is going to be made out of aluminum and it feels incredibly sturdy. Typically speaking, when you're talking about something that's this small, you would expect it to feel kind of plasticky or cheap, but that is definitely not the case. And that even comes across to the hinge. Seriously, this thing is built incredibly well. As opposed to the Atom processor in the original version, this guy is rocking a full Core M3. That's going to make a big difference to performance, and while that's typically going to be found in fanless designs, because this guy is going to be so small, it does have a somewhat loud fan, so it's kind of helpful that there is going to be a little button which can mostly mute the fan on the keyboard, probably because they know that it gets a little bit annoying. But the nice thing is that you're actually going to be getting some pretty serious performance out of such a tiny, thin laptop. This model is paired with 4 GB of RAM and a 128 GB SSD. Now, if you take a look at the Indiegogo page, it's clear that a lot more people are opting for the 8 GB model, but for a more basic use, 4 GB is actually going to be okay. But again, I think most people who are really hardcore about these things are going to want the max spec they can get. Now, the 128 GB SSD is going to be a little bit on the lower end, but again, it's a 7-inch laptop. Sure, it's not going to be the fastest thing in the world, but it's totally fine for normal use. This guy is going to be running a full version of Windows 10. Don't let the looks fool you. It is going to be a proper little laptop, which of course means only one thing. It's time to play some Fortnite. Yeah, of course it is. What do you mean? It's Fortnite time. Don't you want views, Ken? Don't you want to see how Fortnite runs on a 7-inch laptop? On the world's smallest laptop? I thought so.
Not really.
Well, too bad, because I've already got Fortnite loaded and you can't stop me. Do we dare go down to potato mode? Do we do full 360p? At first glance, it can run the loading screen. Wait a minute, this works. I mean, I'm at like 28 frames per second. I'd buy that. Now, as you might imagine, with a laptop that's this small, you definitely need a mouse. The keyboard actually does kind of work though. It's not ideal, but as long as I have a mouse, it actually doesn't feel so bad. All right, so Fortnite, playable on the 7-inch if you don't enjoy your own sanity. The screen isn't bad. So it's a 7-inch panel with a 1920 by 1200 resolution, which is going to be plenty sharp on a display this size. Now, this is going to be pre-production hardware, so you can't judge it too harshly, but my main issue is going to be the brightness. It just isn't all that bright. While it's going to be somewhat color accurate, it does lean a little bit on the cooler side. Hopefully by the time this actually ships to everyone who's buying it on Indiegogo and on Amazon later this year, they will be able to get a little bit of a brighter panel in this guy. Compared to the original Pocket, the keyboard has been tweaked and definitely for the better. So not only is it going to be a little bit taller, so before there was going to be some wasted space, but they've also gotten rid of this little nub. Instead, there's going to be this tiny little touchpad, which is not only going to be used as a tiny little cursor, but you can also click it. It's a little bit weird, but the biggest difference is definitely going to be in the better keyboard layout. Still going to be small and hard to get used to, but it is a big improvement. The real way to use this is going to be to take advantage of the touchscreen. Now, it is going to be pretty accurate. The biggest issue is just because it is so small, a lot of the Windows touch targets are tiny, but once you get some scaling on this guy, it's not going to be too bad.
And 360 watts. That's a lot of watts, my friends.
The speaker is not exactly going to be all that great. It gets pretty loud, but the issue is I think it's kind of hidden underneath the keyboard. There's no obvious sort of spot where it's actually going to be exhausting sound. Can you exhaust sound? That's not a thing. At already $600 on Indiegogo for the higher end model, and it's going to be even more expensive when it's available on retail sale later this year, the GPD Pocket 2 is not going to be for everyone. But it's a dope little laptop, and then while there's always going to be more and more different thin and light laptops that are going to be going for that world's thinnest title, I've got to say, going for the world's smallest laptop actually has a lot of value to it. I mean, come on, this thing actually fits in your pocket.